Hi, my name is Hema, and I'd like to share with you how I write stories. I love writing and telling stories. I'd like to share with you how I plan my stories. You've seen this graphic, right? Uh, Probably many times. It tells you how the build up of the story really is. When I plan my story, no, I don't begin at the bottom. I begin at the top with the climax. I plan what the climax should be, what the high point of my story should be. Now, why would I do that? Because I think everything that goes before should lead up to the climax, and then everything leads off from there, goes down from there. Once I know what the climax is, I know what details I need to climb the hill that you saw in the graphic, get to the peak, and then roll gently down on the other side. I'm going to use some parts from Vihan's story, which you've probably read. Just some details to illustrate what I'm talking about. It's a story, fantasy, fiction, adventure about two young persons who go on an adventure with using a time machine. A dangerous threat in a dangerous place, a strange place, or a meeting with a dinosaur. Which one do you think the climax should be? Well, I know which one you're going to choose. So I'm going to use the first one, the dangerous place, as my climax. Okay? Let's work backwards to the exposition or the beginning. First, characters. You know about them. You know how to set up characters. Who are they? What are their names? How many? Do they know each other? Are they friends, relatives, strangers? How are they dressed? And who are they as people? Second one is settings, and you know that too. Where are they actually? Is it day or night? Where do they find the time machine? And which age or year do they want to go visit? That's setting. Now, the rising action. This is where I build the action, what really happens, the events, and the suspense is built up, right? Are they in the year that they plan to be? How do they survive? How do they find food? Do they fish? Do they hunt? Do they gather berries? Is there safety from wild animals? How do they build a campfire? Where do they find the material to build a campfire? This part of my story is usually longer than any of the other four parts. And because this has a lot of details, and this is where you're really building up, and there's a lot of movement and action in this part. This, of course, then leads to the climax, the incident. Perhaps a greedy character gets poisoned, or perhaps a wild animal attacks. How do they get over this difficulty? Are they terrified? Are they resourceful, brave? Are they quick thinking? This section has to be energetic and crisp. A long drawn out climax begins to drag. Now think of a fight. And if you have every detail of a fight, every move that they make, boring, right? So you need enough detail here, enough movement here, but not enough to put you to sleep. It should be boom, and there you are. Like the rising action, falling action also has a certain amount of movement and a certain kind of energy. Having overcome the major difficulty, which is the climax, what do they do next? How do they get out? Does a time machine work? Do they think they'll be able to get home? And then you have the resolution at the end. This is like catching one's breath. So they're home. They meet their family and friends. Do the family and friends then believe them? Do they know what's going to happen next? Do they plan to go on another adventure? Will they use a time machine again? And if so, you might kind of leave something for the next story, for the sequel. These last two sections together are about as long as the exposition, not too long, because you're done. Enough already. Finish it up. That's really how I plan and balance my stories out. Would you care to share how you do that and how you plan? Thank you for listening.